Okay, it seems to be working. But I'm gonna make sure uh, it stay working. So I'm gonna cut off these phones. Then I'll be back to record the spyware that's in the phones. I'll be back. Cut these phones off. You guys, I want to do this last video before I take this phone back. It shouldn't be as long as the last one, but I want to get this out the way in case I have a problem getting another phone, or they give me another phone that with just as much spyware as it is this one. But that paperwork I just showed you that the hospital was forced to give me, showing they had got a judicial restraining order to keep me admitted into the hospital when that was not the case. So I had called Lisa Madigan's office to tell her about the corruption at the police department, the fire department, and the village of Riverdale. And she told me to send her the information I have. So I sent her those 5 pages at Bridgeview. Now, you got to remember, I went to Bridgeview, and Bridgeview told me they couldn't take any charges against Miss Levere or the police department or the sheriff's department against the village of Riverdale. They couldn't, that was out of their district. And I never heard of a court not taking a case that's in Cook County if they Cook County. But as they tried to give me the runaround about giving me help there. And this is what they do. They can always tell you, oh, this is our rules and regulations. And they'll hand you a piece of paper to say, oh, see this paperwork? But I'm not stupid. I know you can go in that back room and print up and write up anything you want anytime you want. You can make it say anything. You can make it say the sky's pink. But because you write it and put it on a piece of paper doesn't make it true. So if you know I'm coming there to ask for something specific, I know that they do it all the time. Even the stores do it, like Jules will say, well, we made a retraction on a sale that we saw that was in an advertisement. No, when I get to the store, they say, oh, well, I knew you went in the back and printed that paper out. But I'm at the store now. And if you put an advertisement out saying that you got something for sale and not coming in to buy it, you better have it. Don't tell me that you got an advertisement put on the door in the bathroom that says you don't have garlic for 99 cents or 69 cents a pound. But as I said, they don't write up paperwork and say, well, this is our policies. Companies do it too. These are our policies. They do it all the time. But anybody can go type up something and put it out there. So, this was the supposed to be the confirmation I got that that paperwork from the hospital, that fake judicial stuff, went through. But once I got home, I noticed that the time on there was incorrect. The time that they were supposed to have been sent was 2:54, 24 p.m. And that was impossible. I left Markham Courthouse about 1 o'clock because there was a peach store around the corner, and I went to the peach store and walked around that store for over an hour. And I knew my pace bus was supposed to be back, and I knew usually they don't come on time. But if they know I'm going to be late, and if I don't be there, they'll say they was there, and I wasn't there. So I shopped at that peach store for about an hour. And when I looked at my watch to make sure, my clock on my phone to make sure I get back in time, it was 3:19. So there's no way I could have walked to Peach, because it's about 8 blocks. So if I walked at 2:54 and walked 8 blocks and then stayed there for over an hour, and I looked at my watch, my clock, and it said 3:19, and I walked back there, I couldn't, this timestamp can't be correct. So, but Miss Morrison said she never received the fax paperwork. She didn't get that fax paperwork. So, now they charged me $6 to fax this. $1 for each page. And then I went to the library to try to refax it again when Miss Morrissey said she didn't get it. And what the library said, they don't have a fax machine. What library does not have a fax machine? So I had to walk to the Curse Exchange and fill out a cover sheet, 7 pages, but it was really 6. The 7th page was the cover page, but the same 6 pages that it cost me $6 at Markham Courthouse cost me $8 at the Curse Exchange. Okay, which Curse Exchange is this? The Curse Exchange is giving me a hard time too. And one Curse Exchange told me they don't cash money orders unless it come from them. Really? Now, I thought that was strange, but at the time I was talking to my ex-husband, and I asked him, I say, what Curse Exchange don't cash no money orders but their own? Because they don't know what the money's orders going down to once they. Because if you bought it from that place, why would that money order come back to you? You understand what I'm saying? And if you bought money orders from other places, why would you not be able to cash them anywhere? Because if you only cashed your own, you would not make any money. Because usually the money ain't filled out to go to you or come back to you. It's filled out to go to another person who is nowhere near you. So he made a lot of sense. But I knew they were lying to me, telling me they don't cash nobody's money orders but they own. But here again, they charged me $8 to send 6 sheets. And then I looked at their timestamp. And it's wrong. But the difference is this time, at 2/1/17, they thought they'd put it in military time. That I would not know what military time is. 1630 hours is 4:30. I was at the Curse Exchange at 3:30. So again, is it a coincidence that both places put the wrong timestamp on it? And I asked her about the timestamp, the lady at the Curse Exchange, and she say, "Oh well, that's the machine." Well, I guess that's the same thing happening in Bridgeview machine too. All of these facts, they manipulating all these devices, electrical devices. So I guess everybody's having trouble with their timestamps. I'm not going to try to make this a long video, so let me move right along. Now, I want to start by showing this. I had 3 of these. These are the paperwork showing that Miss Nelson has continually failed inspections. This housing inspections. This one is dated for 11/3. That was the last one. Now she had one in September, one in November, and it was 3 total that she failed all 3 of them. As you see, failed. But one thing that bothered me, it didn't say emergency fail, because at the time I was having problems with my water. My feet were turning black. I was having all kind of health issues. And even though they came out there and looked and saw these problems, they claimed that it was out of their hands. Even though they took video of how filthy that lunchroom was, that inspector, he said, but they don't have to keep these areas clean. But on that paperwork, doesn't housing say clean, affordable housing? But the inspector told me it don't mean nothing if they ain't got that lunchroom clean. The dirt and paper and stuff can be thrown everywhere. That's not the problem. And I tell them about the electrical problem, about them throwing blowing out my TVs, my electrical appliances, destroying all my things and my electrical things. Why I couldn't charge my phone. The inspector said, "Oh, that's not their problem. As long as they put something in the wall, plug something, and it light up, that's all they worried about. That'll light up. They're not worried about you burning up or the place catching a fire. They just want to make sure that light comes on." When I showed them how the carpet was torn up and how the towels were all peeling and everything, that's cosmetics. We're not concerned about the cosmetics of the property. It can look as bad as it want. Really. Now he clearly lied when he made this Now, they came out 4 times, and they lied on me and said that I refused to let them in. But, see, they tried to come at a time that I wasn't prepared for them to come. That was unexpected. They hadn't given me notice that they was coming. So I refused to let them in because, you didn't give me notice. You just can't come in my house. And it was at the time when Mr. Beard had came in there and destroyed everything. So they thought they'd come in there unexpectedly, a surprise visit, and catch everything in that order. But I know I have a right not to let them in. If you haven't given me appointment, a time that you were coming. So they said I refused to let them in. So they were there about 4 times total. But 3 times failing, and they were still paying the rent. And I don't know, they said they stopped paying her rent in December, even though she failed in September. Now, I don't know whether they're lying or not. They still could be paying her. But the only reason they say they stopped paying her because they keep sending me mail and stuff to let me know that she still get money. Because that automated service gonna kick out them letters and stuff, and that happens with a lot of businesses. That's how they get caught. That automated system or other people that's doing their job does a correct job and send me the right paperwork to let me know that they lied. So even though they said they stopped paying Ms. Nelson in December, it doesn't matter because when the things break, everything, there's no trails that you can hide. There's no paperwork that can be deciphered. We'll know where that money trail led to. But, as I said, they can lie and say they ain't paying her, they ain't still paying her. But, the inspector lied. When I finally went online and checked the report that he had made, he said that I had roaches and stuff. And he was lying. He also didn't report that this was not an emergency thing, and it was emergency. When I told him my water was contaminated and I went down from 200 pounds to 150. He said he had nothing, that house doesn't do anything about that either. I need to call the water department. So what is Section 8 and HUD doing if they can't protect the people who they're supposed to be protecting? Giving rent to these slum lords who are killing people or letting them live in slum conditions. Like here where I'm at. The light doesn't work. No light in the kitchen work. And she's on the Section 8. She's been complaining since she's been here. No heat. But Section 8 is still paying these people rent, and they're lying to her just like they lied to me. And like I said, I hear other people going through the same problems. That Section 8 is paying these slum lords all this money and letting the people live in harmful, torn up, unsafe properties. Well, I'm gonna pass it along. But like I said, another thing before I get this, you see this signature? This is supposed to be the signature of B. Martin, the last inspector, when she came and inspected and failed it. Now, when I looked online to see what was said about the inspection, it was the original inspection that the first guy had up there, the same stuff. He had lied, said I had roaches and stuff, and I didn't, and said there were only minor problems. But the signature of B. Martin was totally different. So somebody signed this, and somebody signed the signature, somebody different signed the signature on the report that was produced at housing. And that happens again. I watch people's handwriting all the time to make sure, because I know they have forged my signature quite a few times on paperwork. So I've always had a thing about looking at signatures to make sure they match the different people having wrote up. And this signature, and if you go online and look at the signature, they're made by two, even though the same name, they're written by two different people. Now, these were the tenants' rights that none of my agencies, my mayor's department, my fire department, my libraries, my law libraries, don't give me. I have to find a way, and even though they try to stop me from going online and doing research, God lets me do it anyway and find the information I need. But this information should be coming from our villages and our cities about rules and regulations about tenants' rights. Even I called Chicago area 311. That's another story about housing, them helping me with housing since I'm in the Chicago area now. They said that the only way they can help me with housing, if I give them information, they have to have the permission to share it with somebody. Share it with anybody and everybody. And I told them, no, I'm not giving you permission to share my information. They said they can't help me. They said it's their policy. But I tell you, they can tell you anything about their policy. Just because they say it's their policy, you can make up a policy and say, I have to jump out the window to come see you. But just because you say that doesn't make it law. So I asked the guy at 311, I said, is that lawful that you can ask me to share my information with people in order for you to help me? He said yes. And I told him no, that's illegal. I told him let me speak to a manager. He told my manager to call me back. That's been 3 days ago and I haven't talked to a manager because nobody can make you give up your information for services, especially the services that the government offer you. Okay. Well, I had to do my own research because, like I said, the Village of Riverdale, who's supposed to enforce the statutes and regulations of violations in their community, was not. So, I had to do my own research. And I went to Tenants' Rights. They try not to help me, but sometimes they send me exactly where I need to go. And it says that the rights for a livable rental, the right to live in a safe environment. The basic structure of the buildings and the floors were warped, roofs safe and intact, certain common areas such as hallways, stairways, in safe, clean condition. Keep electrical, plumbing, sanitary heating, and you know I didn't have the electrical. You know it was burning on my appliances. The plumbing was bad. You see the things under my cabinet that were warped the floors and tore up the tiles. It was not sanitary, especially in the lunchroom. You know I didn't have no heat. So, no cold and hot water. So she violated all of these statutes and regulations, and nobody came out to do anything. In most states provide rental property that is reasonable, safe from any threat of foreseeable human intrusion. And remember, I told her over and over again that somebody was coming in there. I showed her clear evidence that people were stealing things, putting things in my pool. She would not even change the lock. Extermination of infestation and rodent environment. I think she put a roach she did extermination one time, but she affected me herself. And only she did that because at that time, they wanted me to be there to keep harassing me. So they wanted to keep me there, so they didn't want me to move. So she did exterminate one time, even though she infected me. Infected me with mice too. What it says. The right to live in a livable place. You're entitled to landlord's implied warranty of habitability. This means whether he knows it or not, your landlord has promised you a livable place simply by renting to you. Okay? And none of these statutes or regulations, as I said, are enforced by any of our inspectors. They keep telling me it's a civil matter. Okay, let me see. Can I find that what it says a civil matter? Calling state and local building and health inspectors. Inspector never came in my house. Never came in my house. Even though he put that note that he condemned the fire inspector, that he condemned the building. He never came and talked to me. Mr. Beer told him it was condemned. Here it says, health, fire, and building inspectors may order the building closed. Now, if the problem may order the building closed. Now that's building. It doesn't say apartment. It says building. If the problem you report is extremely serious, the inspector may close your building and order all, and that's the big word, all tenants to leave. Sometimes on a very short notice. Typically, if you won't even get a chance to voice your objections. Okay, but the thing I want you to see is, it says the inspector has to give the landlord a violation and give her 30 to 60 days to reprimand the problem, to take care of the problem. So if Mr. Vera came and told him that the water was turned off in the building and they had to get the building condemned, his job was to tell her, give her a violation, and have her turn that water back on. But instead, he just comes and throws an eviction notice on the door. So why didn't he give her a violation? Local ordinance. City and county building and house codes regulate structural aspects in buildings, and especially on specific space, the minimum sleeping rooms, requirements for lights, ventilation, sanitation, heating, water supplies, such as how hot the water must be, fire protection, wiring. So if they have all these laws and regulations in place to protect us, why hasn't anybody protected me? Locks, to make sure the devices, the locks work, the electrical outlets work. So all of these are violations that she done, and she hasn't been violated. The nuisance, the dangerous to human lives and detrimental to health and morals. Okay. Drug dealing, and our son, the drug dealer upstairs. Contact your local. Well, we know what our fire department will do. State housing codes. Many states have general laws requiring landlords to keep rental units fit. Now again, when I call the mayor's office, call the fire department, they keep telling me that's on me. That's a civil matter. Well, if all these regulations and rules and everything is done by the state and the laws, why do I have to do the job to enforce them? Why do I have to get an attorney, which they know I can't afford, to try to go and enforce the laws that they have on their books? To find out whether the state has any laws in this area. And as I tell you, none of that information was forthcoming by any of these agencies. None. Not the law. And they tell you to go to the law library and look it up. But both law libraries and my local libraries have no books on this, conveniently, have no information. That's ridiculous. Now, they had a book at the Bridgeview Law Library about landlord's right, but they had nothing on tenants' rights. Responsibility. Who's responsible for crime? Landlords are increasingly held accountable for criminal incidents that they should have foreseen and taken reasonable steps to avoid. So again, she did nothing when I told her about the people coming in, contaminating food, stealing my money, and coming to my house while I was gone, taking things. Okay. Yeah, they said they are crime written or open invitation to criminal might qualify as inhabitable. So she has, again, not done anything. So that's all the rules and regulations I'm going to show you. But let me show you what she did. So when she went and filed this paperwork against me, now, one piece of paperwork is missing where it says she didn't pay any fees. I don't know what it is. Sometimes paperwork disappear, but it says she paid no fees for this, or court costs. She paid no fees. But here she's asking for me to go to court, trial date November the 7th, and she's asking for $3,206. Now, and my portion of the rent is only $92. And plus her court costs, I think she said, I'll show the receipt, it comes to $260, I think. So, you want $3,206, and that was August, I didn't pay rent, August, October, November. So that's 3 months I didn't pay rent $92, so that's $200 some dollars. But you want $3,206. So she wants the portion of the rent that Section 8 is paying too, even though she's getting the money from Section 8. How greedy is she? Well, you want me to pay Section 8 portions of that rent too. You getting paid from Section 8, and you want me to give you that money too. You're in violation of everything from Section 8. You've broken every violation, every regulation about keeping an apartment fit, but you want me to pay you $3,206 for 3 months. And then did not pay a court fee. Now this is how they try to stick you. They gave her this receipt, and this is a made up receipt that the clerk at the court gave her. Because this is her court cost, allegedly. Now I have to read you this ridiculous cost. So she's asking for $3,206, and court total was $200. What she paid for costs was $268. Now listen to this, how they broke it down. Forced joint fee was $140. So it cost her, she said, $140 for that fee. $1 for dispute resolution. Well, what was the resolution? $25 for automation. Now, what is automation? How is that automation? $25 for document storage. $21 for the law library. Now, Miss Rivera knows. She said it over and over again what it's about. So, why would she need the law library? She didn't go to the law library that day. And how would they know she went to the law library? What is this? $10 for arbitration. Now, our children waiting room, $10. They have a free waiting room. You don't pay to have your kids in the waiting room while you're in court. And number one, she doesn't have any kids. She has grandchildren. And her grandchildren are always with their parents. And even if she had them, that day, as I said, the waiting room is free. So they just trumped up this stuff in order to pad the bill. So again, $10 for the children waiting room is free. Access Justice Fund, really, $2. And e-business, $9. So they added all these trumped up fees on there to pad her bill. And as I said, on one piece of paperwork it said she didn't pay any fees. So again, you can't have it both ways. You cannot have paid this $268 and then on another piece of paper saying you did not pay a fee at all. Now, Miss Severa gave me the paperwork to tell me to come to court. Oh, and I think there was another piece of paperwork in my mailbox. But the sheriff's department, when I went to Carpool's and talked to the lawyer there, who also told me that I had to talk to Miss Severa in order to get something done. As I said, everybody reverts back to discuss it with Lavera. They said it gave me personal service, which was a lie. They never left a copy with me. I saw no sheriff bring me any paperwork. Now, this paperwork was supposed to have been filed. They received it 10/24. That was the day. I think she said she filed the suit. It was 10/24. Yeah. She filed it October 24th. So they said they received it August 24th. And the date that it was supposed to be due, I guess to me, was by the 31st. Now, they say they delivered it on the 27th of October. And I was on the 27th of October, and I was black, female, and I was 62 years old. But they never came out to my house and gave me this. And they made another mistake on this paperwork. Now, if this was filed, you received this paperwork on the October 24th, and it had to been taken in by the 31st. And like I said, you received it 24th, and you gave it to me on the 27th. You filed it on the 17th, which is impossible, because you could not went back in time. If you filed this paperwork in your file at that sheriff's office, you couldn't have filed it before you received it on the 24th or gave it to me on the 27th. And they do this all the time. They'll do the stupidest things, and then they say, oh, it's just a mistake on the paperwork. No, it's not that. It's that they're lazy sometimes, and they don't care what. They just put any date on there because they don't think that you're going to look at it. That's why I tell you, people read and go over detail everything. So you couldn't have got it, filed it on the 17th if you didn't get it till the 24th. And then you gave it to me on the 27th. And as I said, that lawyer Copples told me, well, even though this shows that they gave it to me, I can't dispute it unless I prove that I wasn't at home. Really? You know they will put it or say, pick a date that I was at home. Because you know I'm always at home. I don't have a job. So I'm most likely at home. So they'd say, yes, so we give it to her on 27. So it's my responsibility to prove that I wasn't at home. That's what the lawyer, who's supposed to be helping me, said. They had to prove that I wasn't at home. Now, another thing the lawyer said, that lawyer at Carpool said that they have a right to keep my property. That the sheriff can deputize the police to sit me out. But he didn't find any paperwork saying that the sheriff had deputized any police. In fact, there was no paperwork of an eviction notice at all going to the sheriff's department, to the sheriff. So since he told me that and it's done all the time where they sit you out without your property, I had to go find this information, because again, they ain't gonna give me nothing unless I do the research, and that's what you have to do. People don't take the word of anybody because they say it's law or they say this is what the policy is. Go find out for yourself. Even though they try to block you, gotta let you have it. Just go dig until you can get it. Any person wishing to defend the case as an indigent person can do the court fees. Well, that's not one. This is what I want you to see. The court may order you to move within a short period of time, and it's usually 30 days or more. And he only gave me 2 weeks. Even though he knew at that time I didn't have no money. They know, because I file paperwork with the Martin Courthouse all the time. And they know I get my money in the beginning of the month. They know I'm limited to my funds. So he knew if I had to leave that property, I'd have to leave without my property, because I would not have gotten my check by then. So he wanted me to be forced out of the department without being able to take my things. 2 weeks notice was really too short. But it says they may have you to move in a short time. If you don't move, your landlord can have the sheriff move you and underline all of your belongings out. The sheriff will put your property outside, and you will have to make arrangements to move it. Really? Again, they're stuck. Because again, they've lied and said that the sheriff don't have to move my things, and that he doesn't have to put my things outside. Now, that lawyer who said that even yesterday, y'all heard me record him saying that I have to leave my things because I ain't got nowhere to put them. That is not their business. But even yesterday when I went and talked to him, he told me that if I go before the judge, I have to tell the judge where I'm going to put my things. That is none of the judge's business. And then he said, well, Miss Nelson might ask you, how did he put it? Well, she might ask you, and you have to tell her. I said, why? Why does she need to know anywhere I'm moving my stuff? But before she can give me my things, she has to know where I'm taking them. Really? I have to inform other people of where I'm taking my things and put my property. And you can see he had a look on his face when I asked him, why does she have to know about where I do anything with my things? And why would the judge ask me, do I have the place to put them? I could tell him, yeah, I got a place to put them in storage. Is he going to check? He said, well, the judge might deny me if I don't have a place to put my things. Are these people crazy? But this is the paperwork that he had me fill out yesterday for Miss Severa to take her back into court to go into the department. This is my motion. Notice the motion. Now, I do these all the time, but he said he was going to help me, and I wanted him to help me to see exactly what he was going to do. So he told me this is what I want to put up on this. Now, this is the notice motion, and this is the motion. So he told me this is what he want me to put on the motion. On November 7, 2006, an order for eviction was entered. I was given to November the 21st to move. I was not able to move by November 21st, and on January 2nd, the landlord turned off my water. On January 3rd, I was trying to get into my base to the basement to get my water turned back on. The landlord called the police. When the police came, they removed me from the house and told the landlord that he could secure it. Ever since I've been trying to get my possessions, including medication, clothes, and furniture, the landlord refuses to allow me to remove my possessions. I am asking the court to help me get my possessions. Yeah, that sounded good, but it wasn't true. So, even when a lawyer or anybody else tells you what to write, check it. Make sure the facts are straight, and make sure you don't lie. And even if it's not lying, you write what somebody else tell you. If it's disputable and they said that did not happen, then they have a case not to because they say you don't have the right facts, you don't have the right information. So when he told me to put down there for November 7th, which was true, and that my water was turned off January 2nd, it wasn't. I have to have the facts so all my stuff matched up. The fact was, and this is what I wrote, my water was turned off November. Miss Nelson turned off my water on November 3rd. November 3rd, she turned my water off. The day before Christmas, and the video I made on YouTube shows you that I made the video that day when she said she was going to turn my water off. I made the video when she turned my water off, and I made the video when about the toxins, how she narrowed me down to the water I can get. But Miss Nelson turned on my water on November 3rd, and on January 2007, I was trying to get water back on, and from the basement, and the landlord, I said the landlord's son, and that's a good thing, because if I had wrote it like he said, where the landlord had them remove me, that would have been a major no-no, because she didn't do it, her son did it. So I had to make sure, because on a video it shows her son all the time. So I can't make a statement saying that the landlord did it. So I changed it from what he said, and I put her son called the police. And her son was the one they told to secure the door. But he has on here the landlord said security though. Make sure your facts are straight. Make sure they have no reason to dispute anything you say. And I put on here that ever since I've been trying to get my thing. I've also put the facts that I've been there twice, and Mrs. DeBeer told me she would come meet me to get my things, get my security deposit. And both times I got there, she called the police. So that's why I said I want to go in the apartment. And this has happened 2 times. And they have already removed, because when my cousin went, I had $28 worth of quarters on my kitchen cabinet. Those quarters are gone. That $28 worth of quarters is gone. There was 2 rolls and $8 quarter that was not in a row. That money is gone. When my cousin went to get it, this no quarters was right there on top of that counter. So I said they have already removed the money and other things. Of course, they've been in there and through my bags again. Like I showed y'all last time, they told my bags all open and went through there and stole all the things that they wanted out. Toilet paper, bags of toilet paper and paper towels. So I'm asking the court to help me get my remaining things, my remaining possession, including food, medications, paperwork, and clothes. Now, what he said was that now that I filled it out, because I know some people on cases that I've served and went to the sheriff, they won't open the door, and when I try to send certified mail, they won't sign for the certified mail, they won't pick it up. So since I told him that might be a problem, because I was going to go try to serve it myself, but he told me this, and I've never heard this, but I'm going to see is he correct. He said, all I need is this, a certificate of mailing. He said, I don't need certified mail. Now, if he told that lie, it's going to be clear evidence that he misdirected me again, that he set it up so the judge can say, because this Judge Dunford has lied over and over again many times and said that I didn't serve a person properly, that I can't serve by certified mail. I've never heard of that, but that's the lie he told me, that he threw the case out because I did not serve them properly. I served them by certified mail. But he said that all I need to do is put her name there, my name there, and show that I had proof mailing it, that she don't have to sign for it. Now, I'll see that works. But the thing I want to show you, the thing I signed for yesterday, and I want you to see, because as I said, I pick up everything in the paperwork. It says the eviction, that he's the eviction help desk, limited legal services. And see, like I said on the phone, he's supposed to know what the laws are. He knows that Miss Nelson has no right to my property. For him to say I have to leave him on the telephone conversation was a major no-no. And this legal agreement, he's saying what they can do. But the main thing I want you to see is what they say they're not supposed to do. And that is, they can't represent me in court. They can't, this is what they can't do. They can't negotiate with your opponent or your opponent's attorney. So when he says on that recording that he has to talk to my landlord, he has to call her, it says clearly right there, he's not supposed to. He's not supposed to negotiate with her or her attorney. He's not supposed to provide assistance. He's supposed not to provide assistance to you or any therefore if the eviction defense help desk knows they have already provided assistance to your opponent. So if he's been talking to her, he's not supposed to be trying to help me anyway. But they direct you to the people, all of them. Direct you to the people that's clearly working for them. So if he already has her interest in mind, he's not even supposed to be talking to me. Provide any assistance to the desk that believe it is prohibitable, under law. Provide any assistance to the landlord. Really. So he has already broken the things that they say they're not supposed to do. Will not negotiate with your opponent. And obviously, when he says he has to talk to Miss Nelson, he has clearly done that already. So, as I said, I'm going to mail this off today. I'm going to get ready and get out of here and go take care of my business. Go to the post office and try this form, as he said, and take this phone back. So, This might be my last video on this phone. We'll see what happens unless they force me to keep it. And you know I'm going to definitely have a problem with that. Because since I have it on video, he clearly told me he's going to give me my money back or give me another phone. That the battery comes out. So, guys, stay prayerful. I love you. Be prepared. Be informed. And be aware. Bye-bye.